Every single day, millions of us head out to work. But for far too many, that simple act comes with some serious risks. So today, we're going to unpack the global plan to change all that. We are breaking down 2 core conventions from the International Labor Organization that, together, create this powerful framework to make every single workplace safer. All right, let's get into it.
Now, this might look like just a bunch of official language, but it's so much more than that. This one line, right from the start of Convention 187, it sets the stage for everything. It's a clear admission of a global crisis, one that impacts everything from our economy to, most importantly, human lives. This is the why behind the whole thing, a worldwide promise to do better.
So here's our game plan. We've just touched on the crisis. Next, we're going to look at the foundational blueprint for safety, and then the engine that really gets it moving. We'll dive into who's responsible for what, unpack the ultimate goal of a prevention culture, and then bring it all home to see why this framework is such a game changer.
Okay, first up is Convention 155. I want you to think of this as the architectural blueprint for a safe country. It was adopted way back in 1981, and it lays out all the core principles, the essential structure that a country needs to build its national strategy for workplace safety.
Now, the key word to focus on here is fundamental. See, in June 2022, something really important happened. C-155 was officially upgraded to a fundamental convention. And let me tell you, that is a huge deal. It means that every single member country of the ILO, whether they have officially signed it or not, now has to respect and promote its principles. It basically turns this from a good idea into a baseline commitment for the entire world. So, at the very heart of this blueprint is this idea of a national OSH policy. And this isn't some dusty document that just sits on a shelf. No way. It has to be a living, breathing policy that's constantly reviewed. And check out that key phrase, minimizing workplace hazards at their source. It's all about being proactive and preventing problems, not just cleaning up messes after they happen. And this shows you just how deep it goes. This isn't just about telling people to wear a hard hat. We're talking about the actual design of the workplace, about adapting machines to fit people, not the other way around. It's about training, communication, and, this is critical, making sure workers can speak up about safety without fear of getting in trouble. It's all about building a foundation of trust.
Okay, so if Convention 155 is the blueprint, how do you actually, build the house and keep it in good shape? Well, that's where Convention 187 from 2006 comes in. This is the engine for change. It's the framework that takes all those great principles from the blueprint and turns them into real, continuous action.
And the connection between the two couldn't be any clearer. The very first definition in C-187 basically says, hey, that national policy we're talking about? It's the one you build using Convention 155. They're designed to lock together like puzzle pieces. C-155 gives you the what, and C-187 gives you the how. So let's look at how it builds that engine.
The first part of the how is what's called the national system. This is the core machinery of our engine. It's all the laws, the government bodies, and the actual mechanisms on the ground that provide the framework to make that safety policy a reality.
And this slide really makes that idea of a system tangible. It's not just some abstract concept. A real system needs clear laws and authority to oversee them and inspectors to make sure people are following the rules. But it also needs that softer infrastructure, right? Things like training, advice, and a way to collect data to figure out what's working and what's not. It's a whole ecosystem. And the final piece of this engine is the national program. So, if the system is the engine's machinery, the program is the fuel and the destination you plug into the GPS. It's a real plan with clear goals, measurable targets, and a deadline. This is what pushes for constant improvement, turning good intentions into real results over time. Okay, we've talked about policies, systems, and programs, but let's be honest, those are just words on paper without the people to bring them to life. So that brings up a really important question. Who does what? What are the roles for governments, employers, and workers? The whole framework is built on this idea of shared responsibility, which is absolutely essential for it to work. This table lays it out so clearly. Governments set the rules and make sure they're followed. Employers have the main duty to provide a safe workplace, everything from safe equipment to the right protective gear. And workers, they have a responsibility to cooperate, but also a right to get trained and to speak up. The key thing to get here is that safety isn't just one person's job. It's designed to be a constant conversation, a true partnership.
And this right here, this is one of the most powerful parts of the whole framework. It's basically a worker's right to self-preservation. If you truly believe a situation could seriously hurt or even kill you, you have the right to step away from it without getting fired or punished. This empowers the person right there on the front line to be the final and often the most important line of defense. Here's another incredibly important rule that puts the responsibility squarely on the employer. Safety can't have a price tag for the worker, period. The cost of things like protective gear, safety training, all of that is on the employer. It just reinforces this idea that a safe workplace isn't an optional extra you have to pay for, it's a non-negotiable condition of having a job.
So you've got the blueprint, you've got the engine, and you have all the people working together. But what's the end game here? It's not just about ticking boxes or avoiding fines. The real goal is to build something much, much deeper. A national culture of prevention, safety, and health.
Convention 187 actually gives us the official definition, so let's break it down. There are three key parts. First, the right to be safe at work is respected by absolutely everyone. Second, everyone, government, employers, workers, actively participates. It's not a spectator sport. And third, the idea of prevention always comes first. It's about stopping accidents before they even have a chance to happen.
So here it is in 3 simple steps. You build this culture, first, by making sure everyone knows their rights and what they're responsible for. Then, you create systems that guarantee everyone can actively take part. And finally, you weave that idea of prevention into every decision, every process, every single workplace.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground, from big-picture policies to very specific rights for workers. So let's just pull it all together and answer the biggest question of all. Why does any of this really matter?
And this is the bottom line. This framework does so much more than just recommend a few good ideas. By linking that foundational blueprint of C-155 with the powerful engine of C-187, the entire global community has effectively declared that a safe and healthy workplace isn't a luxury. It's not a perk. It is a fundamental human right for every single worker, everywhere. It's a real plan to make that right a reality.
So we're left with this final thought. The ILO gives us the global framework, and governments create the systems. But a culture? That's not built from the top down. It's built by people, every single day in every single workplace. So just take a second to think about it. What's one small step, one little thing that can be done where you work to make that culture of prevention just a bit stronger? Because that's where the real change always begins. Thanks for tuning in.